Okay. Can you hear me now? How is everybody doing today? Paul, can you hear me? I checked the mic. It looked like it was doing okay. But let me know for sure that you can hear me. Because it says it's on. Today we're going to talk about notebooking. If anybody has any questions, let me know, because this is the time for the pre-questions or questions that you might have that I might can cover during the webcast. So we're going to talk about notebooking today, or another name is interactive student notebooks. And that's what the topic is for today. I have this afternoon I will put, or at least by tonight, I'll put the script that I'm using up on my blog. I haven't been putting it on ahead of time, so no, I guess there's not. I'm just going to go over what the interactive student notebooks are. I'm going to show some examples, um, tell you how you can start, give you some resources. That's a big part of today. I have a whole page full of resources that I'm going to give you, and if you want me to send you those instead of you trying to write them down real quick, I can email you the resources. So Sandy, if you would like the resources that I'm going to give you at the end of this broadcast, I can send those to you, and you can just email me. I'll give you my email address. In fact, I'll write it down real quick. My email is cstanley@afr.net. I thought I could just... Alright, there's my email. And if you want me to send you those those resources. I've got some YouTube videos. I've got a couple of websites and a book that I have on a resource page at the end of the end of the broadcast. I better get my tongue untied before this starts. And I can send you those instead of you trying to write them down real quick. But that's pretty much what we're going to do, is just talk about what they are, how you can put together your child's notebook, and what you can use them for, different things like that. That's what we're going to talk about today. And then the resources can help you get one started, because the videos that I posted are the ones that I like the most, but there were a lot of videos on notebooking. And like I said, it's called Interactive Student Notebooks is what they're called, or ISNs. And they have a lot of YouTube stuff. There's a lot of websites about it. In fact, the website that I'm going to give you, her whole website is about notebooking. The website is sciencenotebooking.blogspot.com. I'm going to do this real quick just for you. Right here, this one right here is the website. So if you want to write that down real quick. But I'm going to give you all of these at the end, and I can send any of these to you. By the end, at the end, if you will just email me, I can give you those. But that website, what I did was I went to the very first of her blog, and I started reading forward to find out exactly what notebooking was. That to me was one of the best websites that I found. Then I went and found some videos and stuff that I looked at, and I really enjoyed seeing some of the student notebooks, because I think it's a good concept. And that's what we're going to talk about, is what the concept is and why I thought this was a good topic for us to talk about. I meant to look and see what next week's thing was. Let me see what next week's I don't know if I can find it right here. I need to print out my own little thing so that I'll know what each week is. Because usually they ask me by the end of this that what is next week's, and I can't ever remember. And now I can't find it. Oh, here it is. The 24th, reading strategies. Just so I remember. Okay? Is there any other questions? Paul said reading. Reading strategies is what next week is. I think we have about 5 minutes until we're ready to get started. But if there's any other questions, shoot them at me. So I guess y'all can hear me. Nobody said they can't hear me. Which website is this? Which website are you talking about? Katie. The website I gave you just a minute ago? I'll have it at the very end, but it's Science Notebooking. Mine, for my video, Paul is asking me about a quality setting. Mine says perfect streaming. I tried putting the cable that Jim got me, and it brought it down. So I don't know if I've got something hooked up wrong, so I was going to let him look at it. But right now it says I'm perfect streaming. And Katie, the website that I gave just a minute ago was for science notebooking. Let me look at it one more time. I'm having to move my little screen now. sciencenotebooking.blogspot.com is the website that I found that I like so much. Reduce what, Paul? I'm sorry. What am I reducing? Right now it's saying CPU 80%. It's saying perfect streaming again. The video quality. I would not know how to do that. I can put this cord back in and see what happens, but like I said, it was acting like it wasn't doing right when I put the cord in. But I can try that again if you want me to. Okay, there's the cord again. Did that do any different? It's still saying perfect streaming right now. Okay, it's saying perfect streaming. I have put that, I can't remember what the cord's called, but I have put the cord on, and it's right now saying perfect. So I don't know if this is supposed to help. It's supposed to help it not to lose the feed, the line, whatever. You see how computer savvy I am. But Jim got the line for me, but I don't know. So I'm hoping it'll help me not to go away like I did that one time. Oh. We have 3 Alex McFarland devotionals to give away. Oh, cool. You just gonna pick somebody from random? Because it says we have 55 in here right now. Okay, he's saying let's roll, so let's roll. Good afternoon. Today we're going to talk about notebooking. And if you got the email today, I was saying notebooking 101 and Paul was saying fun booking 101. So I'm not sure what you want to call it, but this is notebooking. And what we're going to talk about is what a notebook, and they're called interactive student notebooks. That's what these are called. And we're going to talk about what they are, what you can use them for. Going to talk about how you can set it up, and I'm going to give you some examples, pictures of examples, because we actually aren't doing these yet. I'm hoping to start them. But the reason that I picked this subject is because I think that this is a wonderful thing for homeschoolers to do. And I'm going to have to put beating up on my desk because y'all are moving. The interactive student notebooks, the reason they're called interactive is because you give your student material, and then your student uses that material in some creative way. That's why it's called interactive. You can use, they're used, usually a spiral notebook is what I've seen most of them, but I've also seen binders and just those little black and white notebooks too. But I think the spiral notebooks look the best, or can be used the best, because they can open up flat. The student keeps the notebook as part of their learning, they study from this notebook, and then they can be evaluated from this notebook too. And that's another reason that I like this. The concept of the student interaction is what makes these notebooks unique. And because of that, no two notebooks are the same, because the student does work that is theirs alone and nobody else's. The notebook is arranged so that the child gets information from the teacher and then uses that information in some way to show that they comprehend and understand the material. Now let me get my screen up. This is what I have put as my screen. The purpose of the interactive notebook is to enable students to be creative, independent thinkers, and writers. Interactive notebooks are used for class notes as well as for other activities where the student will be asked to express his or her own ideas and process the information presented in class. So that's what a student interactive student notebook is, the purpose of the student interactive notebook. Now here are the materials you'll need to do or to make one. You'll either need a spiral notebook or a binder, writing instruments, which pens, pencils, colored pencils, crayons, anything like that, scissors and glue, and tape also is what you'll need to just make the notebook. Now, and one of the things that I read that I thought was interesting is when you look at a notebook, at the student interactive notebook, you have a right hand side and you have a left hand side. If you're looking at the notebook, the right hand side is called the input side, and that side is where you would get your teacher material, where you would give your child the questions or the notes or whatever you're going to, the material. I went away. Okay, I think I'm back. Okay, am I still on? Because mine is saying I'm having trouble. Okay, am I on at all? Okay, I think I'm back, but I don't know how long I'm going to be back. We might have to figure out what's going wrong with my streaming. Okay, what I was telling you was we have an input side, which is the right hand side, where the teacher gets their materials. And then we have a left-hand side, which is the output side. And that is where the child actually does their creative part of it. So I'm going to show you what that looks like a little bit. Well, I'm going to show you this screen. And like I said, we have the left-hand side of the notebook. This is if you were looking down on the notebook, and this is the creative side. And then on this side is where you would give the child either notes or other things for them to use. And this says lecture notes, procedure notes, vocabulary, basic knowledge questions. Any of that is what would go on this side. And then on the student side or the output side, you would have things like brainstorming, foldables, concept maps, all of these kinds of things is what you can put. Graphs, cartoons, charts, all of that can go on the left hand side or the output side. I Mom too has asked about if you need to take notes. You can take notes, or I will have this script up on my blog this afternoon. Paul, am I still going? Oh shoot. Okay, say it's streaming again. I'm not sure. I think it's the weather, because now we're having some bad weather, so I might be off and on today. So that might be what's wrong. But I'll have a script up that will have all this information plus the resources. So if for some reason I go away or you're missing things, you can go to my blog and I will show you and have all of that on my blog. Now this shows this side is the input side where you would put lecture notes and things like that. This side is the output side where the child will show comprehension. I'll give the blog address at the end, but I can give it to you real quick. Hold on just a second. I'm so sorry. I keep going away, I know. Let me give you my blog address and real quick, so in case I do go away. Okay, here is my blog address and my email. And I can give you all the resources. I can send them to you through email. I'll also put those on my blog, the resources. And then all of this material that I'm going over right now, I will also put on my blog this afternoon. So I'm sorry, I keep going in and out, and I don't know what to do different. But I think it's the weather. I'm sorry, because we are having some trouble with weather right now. Okay, so I showed you the input and the output and kind of what goes on there. I'm going to show you that one more time. This is the input and the output and what goes on each page. This is the right hand side. If you have a spiral notebook open and your spine is right here, okay, then you have this side is where you would put all the notes and the teacher involvement, and then on the left hand side is where you would have your output, where the student is doing their creative stuff. So that's what this is about. Now we haven't been doing the notebooks yet, but I am going to do a interactive student notebook for science this next year. But now we have started a little bit. Let me show you what we have done. At the beginning of the year, I set up everything that I wanted to do this year, and we set up notebooks. Like this is her reading notebook, and she is a part of she takes a little online class that's called American Girl Club through Kirklick. And if any of you have girls that love American Girl books, the Kirklick has this American Girls Club for free. And so they read a book a month of the American Girls. They've already finished Kaya books. They do 3 per girl. And so what I decided, I found a website that had some of the mini book kind of things, but instead of doing a lap book for every girl, which I didn't really want to do, we decided to, in her notebook, put foldables. And so this is what she's done, because I just found it. So she has done, it's hard for me to see, she's done Who is Felicity, and she's talked about who she is here. And then this one is called the book report, and it has all the different things like title, author, illustrator, publication date, setting, main characters, and what I thought of the book. And so she's doing these, and instead of doing a lap book, I've just put some construction paper in here, and we're just going to fill this out. And this one will be about Felicity. And then when she goes to the next girl, we'll just keep going, because she also has, well, here's one she's supposed to have done today, and she did not do that. But during the club, we get emails and she has to answer questions, and so she answers the questions in her notebook, and then I'm having her do the foldables. So this is kind of starting notebooking for us. But we had already set up the notebooks like this, so but next year I know that I'm going to do an interactive student notebook for science. But other than that, we haven't really done notebooks. Now, I thought about something that I haven't told y'all. If any of y'all are doing the Story of the World, is that the name of it? Story of the World, Volume 1. I also found lap book components for the Story of the World Volume 1, and this is what, and we're going to do the lap book for this. This is this is chapter 1. It has one of these for every chapter of the Story of the World, and this is the earliest people, and what the little book is about is what nomads eat, and then inside it has different things that they eat, and that's eggs and berries. And so this was chapter 1. We just finished chapter 8, and this one is on chapter 8. It's got a lot of information about the Assyrians in this one. So if anybody wants that, I'm going to also give you that website at the end, because I know a lot of people are using the Story of the World as their history, and I just thought this was a really good website. So that'll be in the resources also. But the Kirkclick American Girls Club, we really enjoy. They do. They get online and have a class. They discuss the book, and then they do crafts. So we really like that. Now we're going to look at the process about putting your notebooks together. Okay, here is the process that you need to go through. You leave several pages at the very beginning of the notebook for the table of contents. You number the pages, and your odd numbers are always on the right and even numbers are always on the left. And that's just because you're using both sides of that notebook as your input and your output. So you need to make sure that they do that. There are a couple of places you can find to get something that you can either staple or glue into the notebook for a table of contents, but just doing it yourself I think would be the easiest way to do that. Then it says you keep a master table of contents, and that's what those first 2 or 3 pages, and one website that I saw said do 10 pages, so I don't know how many pages you need to do of that, but 3, 4 probably would be okay. You allow your student to decorate a cover, and they can also do a cover for each unit if you're doing more than one unit. Then you can have them decorate units within the book also, and that just gives your child a little more, that it's their book. Give material to be covered, and the students can write notes or just put that information into the book on the right hand side of the notebook, and then directly across on the left hand side is where the student uses the material in a creative way to show comprehension. So that is the process by which you can do your books. And then like I said, let them decorate the cover and put their name and what the subject is, and it gives them a sense of it being their notebook. Now I'm going to show you some pictures. Let me make sure I've gotten to where I want to go. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple of pictures. Now here is a cover of a history, I think it's social studies, U.S. history, and this is an example of a cover for a notebook, and they can either use their notebook paper and then put it on the front, or they can use typing paper and tape it to the front. And then this is a unit within the notebook. Like, if you have different units, like this one, I can't read it. This one is, I can't read it. It says unit 5, so it's a unit within there. So somebody say I'm confused. I'm trying to keep up with this too. Okay. Um, so this is covers that they can do. Now I'm going to try to show you a couple of pages also. Now, this is an example of the right side. And now remember, the right side or the input side is what you as the teacher would give, the material that you would give them. So this is about, looks like about the colonies, the New England, Mid-Atlantic, and Southern colonies. And, hold on, and this, oh, I messed up. I'm sorry. Okay, then this is the corresponding output. So they would get the first material up here, they would get from you, and then they would show their understanding of that by doing this page. Okay? Let me put up and see if there's any questions, because I can't even see the questions right now. Then the next one is another example of the right hand side, and it looks like it's a story about the southern colonies. And inside this story it talks about plantations. And then this is the output page. And it's a little blurry, I'm sorry, but this is a, in the story it talked about the different things in the plantations, and so this child has just drawn a picture and then labeled the plantation, the parts of the plantation. And then I think I have one more. Yeah, I have one more. This is the right hand side, and this is about the Articles of Confederation. And it looks like it's a fill in the blank kind of thing. And then this is the output side, where they have put a star and Articles of Confederation, and then put the different things around in the star. Okay, so that shows kind of what the input and output thing is. Does everybody understand what I'm trying to say when I'm telling you about these? Do you understand the input and the output part of it? Because that's very important for this type of notebook. And the reason is you're giving them information, and then they are showing you that they understand by doing something creative. I've seen a lot of charts, cartoons. I was amazed by how many cartoons that I saw. But if a child can get across that they understand something, then a cartoon would be a really good way to do that. Now the next thing that I want to tell you about are foldables. Foldables are a really cool way to use for the child to be creative. Now the first one I'm going to show you, this is a cause and effect foldable. It's really just a flat book that we've done in the past in lap booking, but this particular one is cause and effects. The next one is, this one is flat books, different types. Some of them have 3, some of them have 4. The one right down here has 6. 6 simple tools, the pulley, the lever, all of that. That's a foldable. And so underneath these, you're going to talk about it. Colonizing Americas, and this is France, Spain, and England. And so underneath there, you would explain how France helped in the colonization of America. So these foldables are ways that they can show that they understand the information. The next one, this one shows, now this one is on the right hand side of the notebook. And at first I thought something was wrong with this picture, but then I realized this might be a teacher-led activity. So you, as the teacher, might be doing this with your child, and then they would do something else on the left-hand side to show that they understood that. But so this could go on the right or the left. It depends on if you did it with them or if they're doing it themselves. And then here's another one, and this one says the layers of the atmosphere. And so in a layer book, they're doing each layer, and then they're explaining underneath there. They would explain the layers of the atmosphere. Okay. Now I'm going to go on and go to the next screen, which is the resource screen. And I don't think you can see all of it, but I'm going to let you see that much. And then I'm going to See if there's any questions. No, I agree with Susan. There's no wrong way to do this. This particular notebook, which is the interactive student notebooks, this is the way that they say to do this, which is the input and the output. But in my opinion, notebooks can be done in any way. I'm just showing you what I have read about the interactive student notebooks. So yes, I would agree with Susan. There's no wrong way to do this. If there's any other questions, just ask, and I'm going to go over the resources. This is a book that I found. Comic strips would be really good also. Yes. This is a book that I found, and it's just all about foldables. There's also I think that this particular lady, Dinah Zyke, also has a video about foldables on YouTube. But this is a book that I'm actually thinking about getting because I like this whole idea. So I'm thinking about getting this book, but this is the book that I found. This is the website that I told you about. This is a teacher. She's a science teacher, and her whole blog is about notebooking. And so, like I said before, I went to the very earliest of her blog and started reading forward. So I went to the very first one and read forward to learn about notebooking, because she explains more of what it is and what it's about in the very beginning. Erin is saying to just pick one subject, and I would agree. I think, like I said, next year we're going to just do science and see how science goes. But you usually do one notebook per subject. I probably would not go too far. I mean, do too many before you get really used to it. Now here are some YouTube videos, and because these are so hard to write down, I will send these in an email if any of you would like for me to do that. Or so if you'll just email me, I'll just send you these resources. Now this last one right here, this is actually not a video. This is this guy's YouTube page, but he shows you how to do different foldables, and that's the reason I put this one on there. But if you will go for ideas for teachers, I guess it's .org, but it doesn't look like it has a dot on there. But I copied and pasted, so I'm thinking this is how it's supposed to be. But he showed how to make some really cool foldables. Now the last one is, this is the website. This last one is the website that I told you about. That was the Story of the World Lapbooks stuff, and it is Run of the Mill Family, and their last name is Mill, so I thought that was cute. Run of the Mill Family Blogspot, and she has all of the one lapbook component per chapter. What can you not see, Susan? Susan's saying she can't see. Can you not see what I've typed? Yes, Nichols is saying that the Homeschool Share. I have used Homeschool Share in most of my webcasts, and any of the foldables that we've done in the past, or the what I called mini books, can also be used as foldables. Okay, now I'm going to give you my email and stuff again, and my blog. Okay, so either one of these email addresses will get me, and then this is my blog address, and I will have this script on my website by in the morning. And I'll have all of the information that I've gone over, all of the resources, and the script itself up on the blog by in the morning. But I'm about to have to leave, so I won't probably get it until tonight on there. But in the morning it should be there. And I do that if you've ever come and seen my blog, I mean my webcast before, I do this every week. So if you want to see what we have talked about in the past, that is also on my blog. How do you decide whether to use notebooking for a subject or a lap book? Well, that's up to you. Notebooking is a more long term. You would use the notebook throughout the year. And then I'm going to go back to the resources while we talk so that if anybody's writing these down. A notebook is something that you will use all year round. A lap book is for a small subject, like if you were doing an animal study, something like that. But the notebook is something you're going to use the entire year. So that is the reason. Live daily, yes, that's my, no, AFR. It looks like an O from here. My address, let me type it real quick. I can do that. At afr.net. That's my email address. Oh, Paul, that's a cool thing. If anybody else has blogs, but see, I can't keep this. I'd love to have blog addresses. Katie says that hers is not visit worthy at this time. Know that feeling. Mine is usually up and going. Dinah Zyke, and I hope I'm saying that right. Dinah Zyke has a lot of different books, and a lot of hers have to do with either notebooking or foldables. She has some wonderful stuff. But this particular book right here is all about foldables, and that's the reason I think it would be really good. I think if you put in Dinah Zyke, it'll bring up a whole bunch of different stuff that she has. I'm gonna see if I can save this one. Save. I'm gonna start saving. If y'all are gonna put your blogs up, I'm gonna try to save some of these. So y'all are probably seeing what I'm doing, aren't you? Is there any other questions about notebooking? Let me give you this. You can't see that last one. That is the story of the world. Can y'all see that one now? Beth, well, send yours too. Are you the one that just sent mine? Beth said her blog is about weight loss journey. I'd still like to have it. Okay, I'm still putting blogs up. I'm sorry. I'm trying to save the blogs. I don't know if y'all can see me doing this or not. Well, someone is asking, how do you gauge what they know versus the tests? And I think one thing about this is, with the notebook, you can see whatever they do on that left-hand side is pretty much, you're going to see if they understand the material by what they have put on the left-hand side. That's one reason that these, I think, are so good, is because you can see what they know. It's a very good evaluation tool, I think. So I think it's really good. So I think that's one of the things that's good about it, is you can see what they understand, what they know, and you can probably even see what maybe you need to go back and do a little more of. So okay, is there any other questions? Because we are definitely over our 30 minutes, but it's always fun when we're over the 30 minutes because we can see that we're having fun. But then I'm always having fun when I'm doing this. Okay, has everybody got the resources? Okay, so I'm going to sign off, I guess, and say good afternoon. And next week we will be talking about reading strategies. One of the things that I've said this on my webcast before. When I was teaching in the public school, I was in a very low performing school, and we had a huge grant on reading, and I had a lot of different things that I learned about reading. And so that's what we're going to discuss next week is reading strategies, how you can have your child enjoy reading, how you can work on their comprehension and their fluency both. So that's what next week is all about. So I hope to see you next week, and thank y'all for coming by. Bye.